Okay, I'm Mike Webb, I'm the MotoGP Technical Director, and I'm in charge of the technical regulations for all classes, 125, 250 and MotoGP. In 2010 we're starting with a new class called Moto 2. It's a replacement for the 250cc category, and the idea was to bring a 4-stroke replacement which is more relevant to the marketplace rather than 2-stroke engines. And we've been working on that for 2 or 3 years now to come up with a suitable 250 replacement. It's going to be 600cc using a Honda 600 engine and a Grand Prix chassis. Okay, the agreement we have with Honda, who successfully tendered to be the contractor for engine supply, they're going to make a Moto 2 spec 600 Honda engine, which is going to be obviously a race spec engine, not quite standard, but we specifically didn't want a really highly tuned engine. We want something that's reliable, and the key is that it's cheap to run and it's the same for everyone. That's the real key. So from that point of view, they will be sealed. The teams won't be able to do work on their own engine. The engines will be returned to us for maintenance, and they must remain the way we gave them to the team. They're not allowed to be changed in any way. The key of this class is it's not for technological development. The idea of this class is to find out who's the best rider. We want to know who's the future MotoGP star. So if we have the teams operating on a much lower budget than now, able to give all their riders equal equipment, we get close racing, plus we get to see who's the best rider, who's the best team. The chassis regulations are the same as they are for GP 250 now, which means very little restriction on chassis. They can do pretty much anything they want. The only thing they can't use is titanium material for the chassis. They can use pretty much anything else. Suspension is free, other than we've got restrictions like you're not allowed to use electronic controlled suspension, you're not allowed to use carbon wheels. We're just trying to keep the cost down. But from design, they can do anything they want. And we have chassis builders now, including Moto, Moriwaki, Harris, FCC, a number of chassis makers from a number of countries have all built prototypes or are building prototypes now.
Jeremy Ferguson, I'm manager for Dunlop's International Motorsport. I've been with the company mostly in motorsport now for a total of 43 years. I personally am based at the European headquarters in Brussels, but the whole of our racing and our MotoGP development and production facility comes out of Birmingham, UK. Well, the new class is called Moto 2. It's obviously going to be the replacement for the 250 2-stroke class, which has been going ever since the World Championship started in 1949. So it's a big change. Clearly, you know, the world has been changing, both commercially and technically. And increasingly now you can see the way that racing is going. It's much more important to have product that is and classes that are relatively cheap, much fairer and much more openly competitive for a wider group of people. We have a 3-year contract as a single tyre supplier to the World Championship, and we're now in the process of finalising with Dorna and with IRTA the actual mechanics and the detail. We've sorted out the tyre dimensions. Basically, the rims are fixed. There's only one rim diameter allowed. Make life easier and cheaper for the teams. So the fronts are going to be a 5.75 front and 6-inch rear, 17-inch. No changes allowed to that. The dimensions of the tyres we've fixed now: 125/80 front, which is the same as we use now currently in 250 anyway, and 195/65/17, which is the size we use a lot in super stock and in superbike racing around the world, where we're limited to 17-inch. We've obviously got to sort out the compounds and the constructions, and that work's sort of ongoing now as the teams start to have test bikes available. The number of tyres will be limited at each race, similar in many ways to what has been working quite well in the MotoGP class with Bridgestone. What we're planning to have is 2 specs front and 2 specs rear at each racetrack, and a total of 7 front tyres and 9 rear slicks, and that'll be the total quantity, so 16 tyres for the race weekend, and then 3 sets of wet tyres, 1 spec only, no intermediates for when it rains. We've got a group of both engineers and fitters who effectively do nothing else all year except for MotoGP. The 17 races plus all the testing effectively keeps them busy the whole year round. So all of that sort of organisation we've got in place. It's nothing new. We just have to make sure that obviously it's strengthened up in order to meet the requirements of the one brand in Moto 2.